moving to the defensive side of the ball. We're talking about battles and positions that need settled over the coming weeks. And Don, let's start with the defensive line. Lost some pieces, most specifically Y.A. Black is a guy that Iowa will miss. And now the veteran up front really is Aaron Graves alongside Ethan Hurkett. Those two guys leading the charge. Max Llewelyn is a young up-and-comer. He's got a possibility of being a great edge rusher for Iowa this year. You brought in a couple of transfers, Jonah Pace from Central Michigan, Bryce Hawthorne, South Dakota State. Some other maybe more unknowns. Brian Allen's played some. We know Kenneth Merriweather's a guy, a trendy name to watch. What battles, what positions up front on the defensive line do you think need settled this August?
I will comment about the ends a little bit. I'll tell you why. I was just looking to see where it finished. Defensive sacks as a parameter finished fifth overall. 78% win. If you have an edge on defensive sacks, you won 78% of the time. That's pretty high. That's the fifth ranked out of 25 parameters. As soon as I realized that, and that's typically where it has been historically, it was down last year. This year it's back up again. So they do matter a lot. And the thing I know from coaching 37 years, we always refer to sacks as drive killers. And it just occurred to me, we say that, but I don't know for sure that that's justified to be said. So I'm going to run a check. Well, I'll tell you exactly what our numbers are from this past season. In 9 conference games, we had a total of 18 sacks, 2 per game. The names you mentioned already, Ethan Hurkett and Max Llewelyn and Aaron Graves, that's right there, half of those sacks. Those 3 guys, at least half. Maybe more than half. I don't have the raw data in front of me, but I know that those guys had multiple sacks, of course, over the season. So the obvious question, well, in fact, was it a drive killer? Well, in 14 out of 18 cases, it was. In 14 out of 18 cases, Corey, it meant the sack on that series of downs never allowed them to make a first down. They either had to punt. Typically, they punted. In a few cases, as you're well aware, the sack actually generated a turnover. We can talk about that Nebraska game all over again. I'd like to at some point. So the bottom line, they were drive killers 14 out of 18. The obvious question, what happened on those other 4? Why weren't they drive killers? Well, 2 of them, let me back up. 4 times they made a first down, obviously. They earned a new set of downs. So what happened on those 4 possessions? One of them ended in a punt. One of them ended in a expired time at the end of the half. No points. And they only scored on 2 of those 18 sacks. Here's the one that really you'll laugh about. We're playing in the shoe, and I think we had maybe 2nd and 1, I believe. A waist down. They tried to pass. That was our one and only sack. It gave them 3rd and 6. You want to know what happened on 3rd and 6? The longest play that we gave up our entire season, 52 yards. I believe it was a pass and run after the catch. So, yeah, they converted on that series of downs. And furthermore, I think that conversion took them all the way to the 2 or 3 yard line. So one resulted in a touchdown. That's the only time we made an abysmal failure by giving up the longest play of the season for us.
Iowa's ability to create more drive killers this year. Do you think they have pieces in place to do that with Max Llewelyn and Brian Allen and potentially Bryce Hawthorne, who I know you probably haven't seen a lot of him, but he was another FCS kid, actually played with Mark Gronowski at South Dakota State. And as a young talent, I think Jonah Pace is going to be more of your steady Eddie vet. But they've got some guys who can get into the backfield, Don. But it's been a while since we've seen a real dominant defensive front to where they are, that you see an AJ Epenesa or a Drew Ott. And Erica brings up Yoseph Epenesa. Thank you, Erica, for this super chat. She asks, do you think Yosef could see the field? The only thing I worry about is the fact that he didn't get here early. We know AJ struggled in year 1 to get his feet under him. He did play in spots. I think Iowa will play Yosef in spots, but I think Iowa did a lot of good in the transfer portal along that defensive line, and I think they're already going to be 6 to 7 deep. Would they go 8 to 9 and bring out Yosef at times? Maybe.
You know what I think a lot of this hinges on, Corey? How often we can get them in passing situations.
Yeah. Yep.
Can we get them in the third and long? Third and long gives you a better chance on sacks, of course.
And typically,
so we got to be good. We got to be good on early downs.
Freshmen, edge rushers that are young and raw. Is it fair to say typically those guys struggle to run contain early? Like it's going to take them some time. You might be more comfortable unleashing them on third and a mile. Fair?
Right. So can we get them in the obvious passing situations? That'll help our sack total, no doubt.